started with today's race winner, the driver of the number 88 Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports, Connor Zilisch. Connor, a little bit of a wild ending there. Why don't you take us through it?
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy race. I feel like we had a dominant car all day long, and yeah, all of a sudden it turned into a bit of a mess with those late race restarts, and just glad we were able to come out on top and get ourselves a win, and what was very deserving for us. I feel like it would have definitely been unfortunate to not come away with that one.
Absolutely. We'll open up to questions now. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start right here. We'll just go in the middle here.
Does the AC work in here? Holy cow, it's freezing.
Luis Torres, Motorsports Tribune. Well, you had the thing at Watkins Glen, you had the thing with Parker at Daytona, and now you come here and put an absolute dominant show here. You've been on cloud nine. What does it mean just to carry that summer momentum and now with an opportunity to fight for a regular season title to collect those valuable points?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I didn't expect to win this many races come November, and to have 8 wins and at this point in the year is pretty spectacular. So yeah, it's been really cool. This entire summer we've been dominant everywhere we've gone and had a chance to win almost every race, and it's just been up to me to execute and get the job done.
The mindset in the restart before the overtime, how do you channel that situation where it might have slipped from you, but then overtime came along to get yourself an opportunity to get the restart, even though it got a little bit cathartic towards the end, especially in the chicane?
Yeah, it was hectic. Late race restarts when you know that you're a dominant car are never fun, and I'm just glad we were able to make it work at the end. I wish I didn't have to use the runoff like that, and I just had a lot of damage and struggled for grip, to fire off a little bit. So yeah, I think without damage it would have been a little bit easier, but when the 18 hit me, it really gave me a lot of damage to the right rear, and certainly didn't help us.
Joe Samaniego, Grid Network. At your young age, first full season here, 8 wins. Do you feel like the expectations are getting higher and higher to what people are expecting of top 5 finishes, wins? And is there a point where that starts to become a little bit more pressure in a bad sense? Because we all know you're going to the Cup Series next year.
No, I don't let pressure really get to me. I show up to the track every week and race like nobody's watching, and I feel like that's worked for me. So yeah, I'm going to try not to change that and not let the wins affect how I go about my preparation and how I prepare for each race, and not let it affect the way I think.
And then from the start of the race to the end of the race, looks like different track conditions. How much did the track evolve during the entire race?
They added some clay, and it certainly helped keep it a little bit cleaner. So honestly, it was better than practice, but it changed a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Hi, Ian Valou, KWVA Sports. Connor, you had a pretty substantial lead in the first part of that race. When you're up by that much, how do you stay in a competitive mindset, not get comfortable, know that you still have work to do when you have 60, 50, 40 laps left?
Yeah, it's tough. When you're leading by that much and just kind of out front by yourself, it's certainly a little bit, it gets boring. It's hard to believe, but it does get boring when you're just making laps and they keep telling you to slow down, and as a race car driver, you don't want to slow down. So, it's certainly a little bit difficult having to deal with that, but still, it was really cool to, come away with the win after, the kind of battles that we had, and having to get myself back into a fighting mindset after, leading the race for so long.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Jonah Bruneau, KWBA Sports. 4th race in a row here at Portland, obviously for you this year, dominating, leading almost every lap. In your eyes, what makes Portland unique compared to the other road courses on the schedule?
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Mexico, where it's really flat, a lot of kind of middle speed corners. The car has to handle a little bit differently than maybe some different tracks. You need a lot of drive off to get you out of the slow corners, and that's really what we fought in practice and had to work on that. But it's just unique in its own way. It's very switchbacks, a lot of switchbacks and left and right, and it's very give and take. You can overdrive one corner, but it's going to cost you in the next corner, and I think that's really unique. One of the unique things about it is finding that balance. So yeah, I enjoyed learning it today. It was my first time here, but I had a lot of fun.
Any additional questions for Connor? Good.
Hey Connor, Tyler Hergert with Eli Sports Network. You talked last weekend about it being a dream come true, being in the Cup Series and obviously jumping up to Trackhouse next year. How have you been able to process all of these dreams that have come true in such a short amount of time, and what other dreams do you have moving forward?
It's one thing I really focus on is making sure to enjoy every moment, because I've had a lot of cool moments as a 19-year-old. It's been a pretty crazy life for me, and I always remind myself to just sit back and kind of realize what I'm doing from third person. It's easy to forget and to always be focused on breaking the next record or what next year in the Cup Series is going to look like. But I try to be a more present person and live in the moment, and I definitely reflect on the things that I do and appreciate all the opportunities I've been given. So it's tough to balance that at times. You want to focus on the future and get yourself ready for what's to come, but at the same time, as a 19-year-old, I really have to focus on just enjoying my life and appreciating each moment, because they truly are special.
And then what is the most valuable thing you've learned this year that you feel like will help you the most in your Cup career?
I think managing races, just, if you have a fifth place car, try and come home in fourth and not try and win. So luckily I've had cars that have been capable of winning lately, and that hasn't really been the mindset, but it's certainly easy to get eager when you don't have the opportunity to win a race and then cost yourself a lot of valuable positions. So yeah, it's just been about executing and not overdoing what I know what to do, and that's really worked for me.
Additional question?
Bill O'Kill, CTV Sports Canada. Connor, walk us through how your shoulder was before the race and how was it after the race?
Yeah, I felt it in practice a little bit, and it's not pain, it's just discomfort. I feel it right now, and it's definitely going to be a little sore tomorrow. It's not the bone, it's just the actual incision itself. I have a 7-inch long scar, and I certainly feel it when I'm in the car. So I cinched down on my belts and made myself safe inside the car, but by no means was it comfortable.
Any future medical attention needed throughout the rest of the season? Are you good to go?
No, I'll be good as long as I don't hurt myself again.
Any final questions for Connor?
Hi, Connor. Chris White, CY Media out of Rochester, Washington. Just real quick, it's your first time here. Congrats on that 1-for-1 victory, and congrats on going to the Cup next year. But just wanted to see what your experience was here overall in Portland. I know it's sad to see that this track's not on the schedule next year. And is it something you would think would be beneficial coming back here in the future?
I'm biased with road courses, but yeah, I think it'd be awesome to come back. I feel like, I don't know if it's a Cup Series level track, really. I think Xfinity and trucks and ARCA are great fits for this place, but just given the infrastructure, it's maybe not, there's not enough grandstands, and they'd have to make some improvements to get it to a Cup Series level racetrack. But certainly it has the potential to be, and I flew out Thursday night and went to the coast yesterday, and beautiful part of the country. So yeah, I hope I can come back one day and race here again, but I definitely think that it has potential to one day be a staple in NASCAR.